Welcome to Think Global Education Services. This is going to be the last video for the SAT writing section. I'm pretty sure you would have seen the other videos. If you have not, they're very, very important. You should definitely look into them. Um, for today, we're going to do all the miscellaneous rules. So I've categorized it all miscellaneous because these are certain things that we've already spoken a little bit about in our other classes also in the other videos. And they are, I would say the entire question will ever be based on this rule, the one that I'm going to be talking about today. We'll be dealing with things wherein if you're down to two options, which one to select, both look correct according to all the rules we have done, that kind of scenario. So let's go on to see what exactly are we talking about today. Let's talk about frequently confused words. On SAT, you should be very careful in scanning each option and knowing the difference between terms like these. So if you read two sentences, let's say you're down with option A and C. Option A and C are exactly same. The only difference is between these words. Then you need to know the meaning and the difference of these before you actually choose the correct one. So it's not just grammar, it's also about what word is used. Okay, and if you see, this is not the spelling mistake here. These are not the spelling mistake words. That's not tested on SAT. What they test is the similar words that people usually confuse, like accept and accept. So if I say I accept something, let's say I expected you to perform better. So that's expected. Like I want you to perform better. I was hoping that you would perform better. I accept that you got a 1300. So now I have no choice but to say that, all right, I'll deal with 1300. But I was not expecting 1300. Yeah, so there's a difference. Now what I would want you is, there's no list about what all words exist this way. The more you practice, the more you would know the test, but these are some common ones. Advise, compliment, and compliment, like the Coke compliment, Coke pizza compliment, and saying something good about somebody. Or if I look at it's versus its, when you talk about it is, when you talk about just pronoun it's. So the difference, or like peace, be quiet, or just a piece of something. Then and then, a lot of people I've seen make mistake over here. So when I say then, it's a comparison word. Then it's a preceding, like go ahead. Then this happened kind of word. Both are pronouns, but both are used very differently. When you say there, they are, and there, so there as in at that place, they are as in they, and a pronoun, and are as a verb, and there when you refer to some multiple group of people. you know right and right. So there, apart from these, there are lots of other words. If you want me to discuss a few more, we can maybe do it in one-on-one session, but here I just wanted to give you an idea that these kind of words could also be tested. Apart from that, if you're down to two choices, we've already discussed this earlier. When we talk about wordiness, SAT doesn't like wordiness. It wants your sentences to be crisp and without redundancy. Yeah, let's look at this. There are children who are playing their instruments loudly. There's nothing grammatically wrong. There are children, so who goes to children, are playing, so children are playing their instrument. There is correct according to pronoun, the plural pronoun going to plural word children, instruments loudly. So grammatically it's fine, but it's too wordy to be chosen as correct answer. When you say there are children who are playing, like children are playing, why do you have to say there are children who are playing? Children are playing, that's all. We just need these three words. Children are playing their instruments loudly. End of the sentence. Let's look at next. The current design of costume right now is incomplete. Now if something is incomplete, it is current. Like, you don't have to use both the words. The current design of costume is incomplete. Yeah, so it's, you don't need this now incomplete. The current design is incomplete, that's all. Yeah, next one. In the present COVID-19 situation, we are all staying at home for current semester. So this is something that I've seen many people, many of my students speak with me. If you look at this in the present situation, so if the situation is present, then obviously you're doing the current semester at home. Why do you have to repeat it? In the present COVID-19 situation, we are all staying at home for a semester. That's all. Yeah, we don't need the word current again. So wordiness is again not a rule. So let's say there is one sentence, let's say the third sentence here in the present COVID-19 situation, this is given and all the others have some grammatical mistake. Then you will choose this one. So you don't say that this option is definitely out because it is redundant or it's too wordy. No, that's not your first rule. You first apply all the other rules that we have discussed in the previous videos, like subject verb agreement, pronoun, verb tense, modifier, all the rules. And if you're down to two answer choices, both are grammatically correct, then you select the shorter one. Yeah? So the conciser one. Okay. Now let's look at idioms. So the whole idea of including idiom over here was so that you know how the sentences would look like. We've discussed idiom in here and there in like parallel structure video and a few more videos. So let me just tell you once again. Idiom is basically the words that go together. It's nothing which we can learn by rule. It is basically how English existed. Yeah, so I do not really want you to go through the entire list and mark it out. I mean, if you are in grade 9th and you want to take a test in grade 11, you have 2 years and you want to mug it up and you're very good at it. You remember everything? Okay, go ahead. But that's not really how it should be. What we should do again is to practice a lot of questions, get them incorrect maybe because of idiom error, and then learn. Know that this is what my error was. Yeah. So another thing is that it's very unlikely to see a question based on only idiom on SAT. It will be a mix of something else along with idiom. I'm not saying it will not be there at all, but it's quite rare to see something which says only idiom based question. Yeah. With that, let's go to these sentences. She's not only beautiful, dash smart. Now, for all those who think she's not only beautiful but smart, that's incorrect. The idiom which says not only always require but also. If you use but, it goes with not. She's not beautiful but smart. That will be correct. But when you say not only, you have to use but also. I can't distinguish notepad dash netbook. Distinguish always require from. I can't distinguish this from that. So we need the word from here. I can distinguish. So now you see distinguish is used again. Now a lot of people will say that, okay, let's use from here. Yeah? Let's see. I can distinguish between a notepad from a notebook. That will be wrong. Because when you say distinguish and there's nothing, so you'll use from. But here you see the word is between. So my idiom is not testing me on distinguish at all. I'm talking about between. Between is another idiom. Whenever you see a word between, you use and with it. Between A and B. Distinguish A from B, but between A and B. So in this one, distinguish was tested, but in this one, between is tested. Okay. Art curator regard the Scream dash one of the best work of art. Scream is one of the best work, but then if you say is, you'll be like curators regard the Scream is. But if regard is used, you'll have to use the word that goes with it, which is as. Regard always goes with as. But if I change this regard to consider, if I say art curators consider the Scream dash one of the best work as one of the best work, it will be incorrect. For all those who are thinking, no, it should not be as, it should be to be. Art curators considered the Scream to be one of the best work. That's incorrect as well. Then you say consider, you don't need anything else. We don't put anything over here. It's a blank. Yeah, it remains as it is. Art curator consider the Scream, comma, one of the best work of art. That's all. Nothing comes here. Yeah, I consider you to be a great student. No, I consider you a great student. We don't need anything, any preposition, nothing before the next part of the sentence. Yes. Next, her boots are just dash mine. And if you compare with this, he runs just dash I do. So we have just in both these cases. But just can go with multiple words. It can go with like, it can go with as, both of them. So can I say her boots are just as mine? He runs just like I do? If you're saying yes, no, it's not so. Remember, if you've seen the comparison video, I discussed that like and as have very specific usage. They both can go with just like, just as, both are correct. But like goes when we compare nouns. In this case, I'm comparing boots. That's a noun. So I will be using like, just like mine. Yeah. But in case I'm talking about run, she runs, it's a verb. So in this case, the just does not go with like, because for any action, verb, clauses kind of comparison, I use as. He runs just as I do. Okay. Now there are these mini tricks, I'll probably say, that you can use to get I mean, you with rules you get good score. With tricks you just good at speed. Yeah, you're just good at speed. So I would right now say, if you're starting from very scratch, do not apply all of tricks, don't focus a lot on idioms. Get your rules strong, know how to go from one question to other, identify your strengths and weaknesses, and then when you actually come back to how do I speed up, because you don't even get a minute per question, you just get a few seconds. So how do I do it best? Then you come up with all these tricks. Yeah, and there are many other tricks that you would learn by just practicing questions. Okay, so thank you for watching the video today. I will meet you in the reading video in the next section now.